Hi students, I hope you're all doing well. I wanted to send you all a quick video this week because when you get into week 3, the module, you might get a little overwhelmed, so I wanted to kind of go over it with you a little bit just to help ease any anxiety when you see all this stuff and wonder what it is. So let's get into week 3 module, and here we are. So this is what we're going to be doing this week. You have your first major essay assignment, and so first on our list is that you need to carefully read the persuasive compare-contrast essay 1 assignment sheet, and that is right here. So let's click on this, and I'm not going to read all of this to you because you are all very smart people and you know how to read. So I just want to highlight some things to you. This is the essay prompt. This is going to be a compare and contrast essay, but this is not going to be just any old compare contrast essay. You have to have an argumentative spin to it. So don't simply tell me about Disneyland versus Disney World. You need to tell me, why should I care about Disneyland and Disney World? Which one should I go visit? You're trying to persuade your audience into something about one of your 2 topics. So I have this list right here for you to choose some ideas. If you want to choose something else, then you must email me and let me know first. Okay, you need to check with me. I do have some forbidden topics. I don't want any papers about sex or sexuality. I don't want any papers about drugs or alcohol. I also don't want any homeschool versus public school papers. In the past, I've had homeschool students use these 2 topics, and they ended up just bashing public schools. And yes, while public schools have issues, it just didn't bode well with me because my 3 girls went to public schools and they turned out just fine. So I don't want to read about homeschool versus public school. I don't want to read about online classes versus traditional classes because online students have a tendency to bash their online teachers, and I don't want to read about that. And I don't want any compare contrast about cell phones. Very boring, 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 boring. Okay, so I've given you how you need to format the essay. Use MLA, size 12 font, all that. Here I've broken down the different parts of the essay, what your introduction should look like, your thesis, your body paragraphs. This is MLA style right here. This is how your paper needs to be formatted, your final essay that you will turn in on September 22nd. Don't plagiarize. Due dates. Okay, next week during week 4, we are going to peer review, and I am going to pair you with another classmate. If you do not participate in peer review, I will deduct 5% from your Essay 1 final grade. So you must actively participate. This means having a full draft, not just a couple of paragraphs. That is not enough to peer review. I want all 700 plus words. So that will all happen next week. But I wanted to bring that to your attention about this deduction of 5% if you do not participate in peer review. And the final essay, the beautiful polished copy, is due Sunday, September 22nd. So I will have the Dropbox set up for that next week. I've also included here the policy about late essays, so you can read about that. Okay, So that's the essay assignment. Again, read over that very carefully. Then I have a PowerPoint for you about writing compare and contrast essays. And again, I'm not going to go over this entire PowerPoint with you, but I do want to bring your attention to, let me get to it, that you have to have a strategy when you write this paper, okay? You have to have a point to it, and you also need to have, use one of these methods, one side at a time or point by point, okay? So you need to, again, study this PowerPoint carefully and look at these point by point and one side at a time patterns, because you need to choose one of those patterns for your compare contrast paper and use it throughout. All right, so again, study this PowerPoint, but I'm not going to go over it with you because I don't have time, but I did want to bring your attention to these methods to choose, either one side at a time or point by point. So you need to choose one for your paper. Okay, so view the PowerPoint, look at the essay assignment, and then I've also included 2 essays in this little submodule, examples of compare-contrast essays. One of the essays is Take Me Out to the Ballpark, but which one? The other one is Neat People versus Sloppy People. So you need to read these, and I did want to apologize. My scan for Take Me Out to the Ball Game turned out a little bit crooked, but it's all there. The whole article is there. So just read it. You do not need to write any of these strategies or any of that. Just ignore all that. You just need to read the essay. So again, I'm very sorry for my crooked scan. And then this one, the Neat People versus Sloppy People, this was a PDF that I found online. It does have some typo errors in it, which is kind of surprising, but anyway, this is just a short essay, so read this one as well. You don't need to do these questions on meaning. You don't need to do any of that. Just read the essay. And then after you've read the essays carefully, you need to take quiz 2. Quiz 2 covers these 2 essays. Okay, so there's that. And then the last thing I want to point out to you is the topic proposal. I do want to know what you plan to write about for this paper. Your topic proposal is due Sunday night, September 15th, and I've got everything here that you need to know. This is for a 10-point completion grade. So, you know, if you do the assignment, you'll get 10 points. If you might have, you might have something I need to comment on about your topic, but that you won't get a 0 on this unless you don't do it. If you don't do this topic proposal, you will get a 0. But if you do it, you'll get 10 points. So it's just a completion grade. All right. There are 2 more things I want to point out to you, and these are not in our week 3 module. I have them over here to the left. This first one is thesis statement PowerPoint, and okay, I feel like I'm making all of you dizzy. I'm sorry. This thesis statement PowerPoint shows you some tips for effective thesis statements. So I'm going to keep this up all throughout the rest of the semester so that you can refer back to it. If you want to print it, that's great. But it gives you a little strategy for writing a good quality college level thesis statement. Then in another module, okay, so that's right here in this thesis statement PowerPoint module. Then I have another module about how to write engaging introductory paragraphs and how to write solid concluding paragraphs. And again, this is, I've given you 5 different strategies for writing great introductions, and you may have learned some of these when you were in school. You know, you start with a quote, or you start with statistics, or something like that. So that's what this is. And then concluding paragraphs, this is a little chart that it's kind of crooked. You can fix that, but it gives you some ideas of what you should have in your conclusion. You don't want a boring conclusion. You don't want to restate everything you just said in the paper. So this gives you tips about writing a solid concluding paragraph for your essay. And again, so these will again stay up all semester, print them, whatever, but they're in their own little module right here, so you can refer back to those. And I think that is it. Let me go back to week 3, see if there's anything I missed. I think that's it. So on our list here, I've got, you know, view the PowerPoint, read the 2 essays, take the quiz, which covers these 2 essays. That needs to be done also by Sunday night, the 15th, and then your topic proposal. And so that's all you have to do this week. You really need to start thinking about your essay. Because as I said, next week we're going to be peer reviewing, so you may even want to start drafting some ideas and a paper even. So, all right, that's it. Let me know if you have any questions. Please email me, call me, text me. Okay? Have a great week. Bye.